the toned down Alice Darling, the depiction of emotional abuse is on display and given a touch that surprisingly doesn't lean towards being Oscar bait. To summarize the film, while Simon is someone who seems very lovely on paper, he is also the type who has implemented a death by a thousand cuts approach when it comes to dating Alice. He makes her feel bad about her body, how she feeds herself, uses her venting to try to put her against her friends, and while he never lays a hand on her in an abusive way, her best friends and Tess and also Sophie can see that there's a shift in her. They can't say if it's him, work, or life in general, but it all comes out during Tess's 30th birthday week, where it becomes clear that when it comes to Simon and Alice's relationship, there's definitely something wrong there. So the first highlight for us is going to be Anna Kendrick, and that's because the way Alice is written and performed allows you to understand that this is supposed to be an intimate performance and movie. This isn't about having explosive scenes where Alice is going off on Simon and all that type of stuff, or you watching her implode until eventually she just collapses. What this is about is showing you the effect of emotional abuse where nobody but the person experiencing it can truly know what's going on. There's no bruising, there's no cuts, there's just someone who's been chipped away at so much that now they feel completely naked and vulnerable yet because they don't want to seem crazy because there's no actual evidence of what's going on. They're trying to maintain the facade that everything is better than it is. And with that, they kind of end up in the loop of nobody knows what's going on, yet here I'm going through all this traumatic stuff. I have no means of proving it, yet it's degrading my quality of life to the point where at times you can see that Alice doesn't really want to be here anymore. And what also, when it comes to Kendrick we love, is that she never lets the camera control the narrative. Yes, there's setups to show Alice's rebirth into scenes that are supposed to be very definitely cinematic in a way where you can see where they may try to lean toward being Oscar bait worthy, but Kendrick pulls that away so that you never lose sight that this is partly her story and a lot of people's story, and it should never be about trying to beautify the situation but keep it as real, authentic, and raw as possible. The second highlight for us is that when it comes to pursuing an abuse storyline that isn't physical, it makes it very clear how easy it is to not notice what's going on. And you can credit the writing and performance of Simon for that because Simon never goes big. He's cordial around mixed company and he waits until you're alone before he starts picking at you. And as he opens up, because he's going through something, he uses you trying to get vulnerable with him, trying to connect with him, maybe rebuild the relationship if not fix it, and that's when he attacks. And for a lot of us, we can understand and know when it comes to bruises, broken bones, stuff like that, that's how we easily identify somebody as an abuser or somebody is a victim of abuse. But if you're watching Simon, you're reminded how so many little things can go on that even in your own partnership or relationship, you may not know that you're in something that's toxic until maybe you see something like this and realize all the signs are there. It's just because maybe you don't have much experience in relationships or you have a very toxic relationship history. This may be normal to you, but the way that Alice Darling works out, it can be a potential wake-up call and definitely present you with the kind of warning signs which could aid in you understanding what is right, what is wrong, and what to avoid. Which leads to on-the-fence topics. The first on-the-fence topic is there's a B storyline in the movie dealing with a girl going missing that goes completely unresolved. And part of the reason why this is a bit of an issue for us is, yes, do we want the movie to be longer? No. But at the same time, considering Alice goes off on her own after having a fight with her friends and she discovers what could be evidence, and she never turns it in or says anything because of Simon downplaying it, it leaves a plot that goes unresolved and it kind of bugs us in a way. The next on-the-fence topic for us is that I must admit, I wish we got more information about Alice's relationships and we got better chemistry out of them too. Because starting off with Simon, it's recognizable that anybody with a foreign accent to an American can sound very much attractive, especially if it's a British accent, since most of us have romanticized that beyond reason. But beyond him having that, I don't fully understand the attraction with Simon. Yes, the actor's a beautiful man. Set that aside, but personality wise, him being an artist that seemingly might have peaked a while ago, I just don't understand where the attraction is. And then when you add in that it doesn't seem like Alice is like a wallflower or anything like that, that she's had boyfriends and relationships with attractive men in the past. It's not like he's this golden god who decided to look at this small little library and whatever type. That isn't established, so it's kind of confusing about how did he gain this power over her and how does he maintain it. But at the same time, as noted in the highlights, you never really take note of when these people start really getting under your skin and messing with you rather than building you up. So in a way, maybe he seduced her in a way that we may not get to see on screen, but if you ever been in that type of relationship, you understand how someone can go from a stranger to someone you're dating to someone who is making your life miserable. Following up on that, I have to say also when it comes to Sophie and also Tess, it's established that those are her best friends since, let's say, elementary and middle school, but in terms of their relationship, their dynamics and stuff like that, I honestly feel like what happened is they got free actresses who did a decent chemistry read, but in terms of us really like getting into their friendship and like wanting to see these people work together again because they're just that good of a dynamic with each other, that's not here. Everybody plays their role, everybody does their lines, and they support Kendrick in terms of her emotional journey, but I wouldn't say that they leave you with any type of remarkable feelings that make it so that they, as individuals, the actresses shine, and as a group, they all seem to be realistic or authentic in terms of the friendship that they're portraying on screen. Overall, when it comes to Alice Darling, I definitely think that Anna Kendrick's performance is definitely notable. But unfortunately, when it comes to the story, when it comes to Alice's relationships, and the characters who fill her life, not enough is done for this to be a genuinely good movie. Instead, it's just one small beacon that makes it potentially worth seeing, but everything else pretty much makes this another movie that gets released today and gets lost in some streaming services and new offerings tomorrow.